go. Hey friends, happy Thursday afternoon. I know you guys are used to me coming in the mornings, but today is a special day because I have Miss Tiffany with us from OC Vintage Charm. And of course, she's got her little one, so she's doing school in the mornings and stuff. So I was so happy that she agreed to come on, even though it's in the afternoon. So let's welcome Tiffany. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
So for those of you who know her, you know she's an amazing crafter. We were talking a little while ago, and Tiffany doesn't consider herself a crafter, but she is. She's a creator. For those of you who don't know her, this is your time to get to meet her. So Tiffany, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you're OC Vintage Charm. We talked a little bit before, but how long have you actually been crafting?
For just about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just about 4 years.
So what led you to crafting? Because I mean, that's about the same age as your daughter, right? Your daughter just turned 5 recently.
Yeah.
So was that part of it?
Yeah, she'll be 6 in July. And actually, my very first project was her second birthday party.
Okay.
So I had a Cricut machine that literally sat in a box for 2 years. My husband bought it for me. And I always worked a corporate job. I worked crazy long hours, 6, 7 days a week. When my son was little, I'd bring him to school or take him back to work with me. So it was crazy busy. So I didn't have time. I'd go into the craft store and literally go down the Cricut aisle, and I was so overwhelmed. There was so much stuff. And me not being a crafter, I was like, where do I start? So I'm like, okay, I became a stay-at-home mom when my daughter was born. And I'm like, it's time. I'm going to take that thing out of the box and I'm going to figure it out. So I went on YouTube and just started learning and made some banners. Actually, her birthday party, her second birthday party, Cricut had reached out to me, and I wrote a blog for it, and it was actually on Cricut's blog. It's still there. If you look at it, it's still there.
What was the theme? Because I know you're really good with themes. That's what I learned about you.
Unicorns.
Okay. So then So was that your first interaction with Cricut itself? Like, wow,
Yep.
That is so cool.
Yep. First interaction, first project, everything.
So when you did that project, because one of the other things I know that you're known for is doing huge off the mat projects. Did you do it in off the mat right away, or was that more small?
I actually did. I did. I don't even think I featured it because I didn't have like the best photo of it, but I just did a giant like gold glitter unicorn, something super simple, just a one layer, but it was just a big one that I put on our wall just as a decor piece, actually in our hallway. So it was just something that you'd see.
So then we fast forward a little bit, and I know I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but now that we're talking about your parties and everything, let's fast forward. You recently did a Mary Poppins theme for her.
Yeah.
What about that? Because I love Mary Poppins and I love your theme.
So my big thing is every year for Lily's birthday. So when we had her first birthday party, it was crazy big, and there were like 100 people there. And my husband's like, if you ever do a party like that again, I'm divorcing. Like, it was crazy. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll scale down. And it was out of our house. So it was a big to do. So now every year she gets to pick her theme on what she wants. And then right behind me actually is where I host the parties. I actually cover this up with like a board or whatever, my backdrop. And I'll do the parties right here in our kitchen because it's got really good lighting. So she wanted Mary Poppins. And I just created everything. So I had a old carousel horse that I hand painted. I made stencils with the Cricut machine and hand painted everything. It took me like about 2 weeks to do it. But we had Mary Poppins come to the house, and it's just something, we have a couple of her friends over, and it's just something that she always remembers. And it's one of the the best things I can do for her. Like, I love it. It's so fun.
And that carousel horse was my favorite. I remember seeing your stories last year, and I saw, the horse that when you first took it out, and then you painted it, and you started adding little things, and then you even did the eyelashes to make it look like it had its eyes closed, so that it would match more with the.
Yes. I know that's me. Like, I'm all about the detail. Like, I want the little fine details to show. And I don't
Uh-huh.
know, I just love detail pieces. So anything you just like add one thing and then you're like, well, let's add this and let's add that, So yeah, I had to have her eyes shut. Like, there was a way I had to get her eyes shut because in Mary Poppins, her horse has her eyes shut, but in those carousel, their eyes are like big,
Yes.
big eyeballs. So yeah, I saw fake eyelashes and threw those on.
And that's what makes you a creator. I know you said you don't think of yourself as a crafter, but honestly, Tiffany, I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of I'm not artistic. I mean, I can be creative when it but you did that. You took it, you had an idea, you ran off with it. And that's what being a creator and being creative is all about. And what I appreciate is that you share that with everybody on your page. And we get to see that process. And you've
Yeah.
inspired so many people. In fact, guys, Tiffany is so well known. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to share my screen just a second. Um, Let me share my tab real quick. So I'm going to share. This is Tiffany's Instagram page. This is what's behind her right now, guys. This is her board. She's so well known and so inspiring that after when she started posting this, when she was looking for her pegboard and how she can decorate, and then she didn't like. She goes, "I need a frame around this," and she got what was it, an old mirror? And you
This
can hear.
Yeah, this is actually a frame I used to have in the same spot, but I just had it was like a cork board where I just threw up like a calendar and the kids stuff. It was just like a tack board. And I
Mhm.
was like, I craft in my kitchen, so it's literally a little L that I have. And this space behind me was so wasted. I'm like, I could do so much more with it. So I went to Home Depot, got a pegboard cut, and started making what you see on the page.
I I also think one of the biggest things that I love is that you always bring your themes together with your color. So in Tiffany's room, and whenever she posts, you're gonna see this mint green, right? Is
Mhm.
that one of your favorite colors, Tiffany?
Well, so I love different colors. I love pinks and stuff, but I also have to remember I have two men that live with me. I have a husband and I have a son. So I've kind of taken over the kitchen and it's a little obnoxious, I should say, but they're really great because we have a small house and we have two kids. So the house is full and there's no room for me to have a craft room. But I've kind of turned it into my own space and I would probably go pink, but I try to keep the color a little down just so that they don't walk into like a pink or purple room.
And that's really cool because a lot of us are like, well, I don't have enough space to have a craft room, or I don't have. Tiffany's right here. She's proof that we don't need to
Yeah,
have a whole big, use what you have
yeah.
and then make it pretty. Use what you have and make it fit you. I love that. I
Yep.
love that. Tell me now about OC Vintage Charm. So, what do you do there? Are you like a party planner, a decorator? Tell us about everything.
No, so recently I'm trying to be like more of a content creator,
Mm-hmm.
or what you want to say, like a craft influencer.
Right.
So OC Vintage Charm came from originally I started doing vintage rentals. So in my garage is packed full of vintage rentals that I don't even touch anymore because I don't have time. But my daughter had a vintage high chair, and I could not part with it. It was an aqua blue, beautiful chair. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start renting them for birthday parties or for pictures. Everyone's into taking pictures with a pretty chair. So I
Mm-hmm.
started doing that. I have like 12 of them now. It's kind of crazy. And then China and you name it, just anything for like a vintage party. So OC Vintage Charm was OC from Orange County, and then Vintage because I love vintage, and then you're adding a little charm to your party. So that's the name, and it just kind of stuck, and I stayed with it. After Lily's second birthday party, the unicorn theme party, people started reaching out and were like, "Can you make this for me? Can you make that?" And so I started doing custom um, items for people, like birthday
Mm-hmm.
parties and stuff. Never had an Etsy account, never anything like that. It was basically word of mouth. Um, And then after a couple of years, I stopped doing that. It was, I was staying up till like 4 in the morning. It got
Wow.
a little. Yeah,
Imagine.
it got a little crazy. I was really busy. So I just decided to stop and just make stuff that I liked and
Mhm.
make release parties. And then I started working Cricut more. And here we are. I've worked with Michaels, and I've just been creating content that I love.
That is so fun. It shows that you love it because nothing on your feed, nothing on your page is just thrown together. You can see the thought behind everything. One of your most recent projects was that you blinged out your Cricut, your little Cricut cutie. You guys check this out. She blinged it. She sat there and put all these little rhinestones on it, front and back, bling this baby out. That is amazing. That's commitment. How fun.
That's a bit.
Wow. So what's your favorite kind of crafting to do? You mentioned your Cricut. What do you like to do?
Probably lots of, I kind of dabble in everything, and it
Hmm.
just kind of keeps expanding. But I'd probably say paper crafting is
Okay.
more my forte. I love to do like banners and cake toppers and off the mat. Like off the mat is definitely, I think, my favorite. Doing the frozen backdrop that I did, that was something that I had never even attempted. It was wild when I was creating it. I'm like, okay, wait, it needs this, it needs this. So it makes my imagination run. I just can take something that is on the screen and blow it up to 5 feet tall, and it's crazy.
That is cool. What's
Yeah.
your best crafting experience? Is that your frozen party? Was that your best crafting experience, or what's your best that you've loved the most so far?
The best. I met John Stamos and his wife. Like I was
Right.
in their house. That was awesome. Yeah, that was at their house. So it was crazy. But it was so much fun. Putting together a Frozen tea party for the Stamos household, like that's that's pretty awesome. And his wife is amazing to work with. She's the sweetest person ever.
It
So
looked like you guys had fun. You and Carol, right? Carol was with you there,
wow.
and
And that was the first time I met Carol. Like I had met her at a Cricut event, and she literally lives 5 minutes up the street from me, but we had
wow.
not met. And she followed me for like a year on my
Uh-huh.
Instagram page. And then we met. And so I was like, I'm going to need help because it was a really tight deadline. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I need help. So I got her, and we crafted away for like a week straight. That party was literally pulled together in about a week. And then
Wow.
Nancy,
That was
um, yeah, we just like threw it all together, but it was amazing. It was just such an amazing experience, and to work with Cricket is always awesome.
very nice. So one last thing I'm going to ask you about before we go, because I know I told you I wasn't going to keep you too long. You also had the chance to go on to what was it, the Kelly Clarkson show? Tell us about that. I was excited when I saw that.
That was so fun. So first, I got to go and work with the Cricut team and help make some stuff for a Christmas special that Kelly Clarkson was doing. And then there were other times that I kept going back out to LA, and I was making bags for them, infusable ink bags, and those actually would go to their guests. So I didn't even take a picture, and I'm so mad that I didn't. But I made a bag for Tom Hanks, like
Whoa.
a special bag for Tom Hanks. It was so cool. It was for oh shoot, what's his name? The movie he was just in.
Uh-oh.
Would you be my
I can't
neighbor?
remember.
What is that? Oh, what's his name?
I can't remember either.
Yeah,
Oh well.
I don't even remember. It was an old show years ago that they. Oh,
And my husband wouldn't know, but he's back there, so oh well.
no, I don't even remember. I'm blank, but yeah, it was a fun experience. So lots of fun opportunities that have come my way recently, which I'm very grateful for.
That sounds so amazing. Well, where can people find you? Before we go, where can we find you? I know we mentioned your Instagram. Where's the best place to find your work?
Instagram is the best. I have the most over there that I'm over there all the time. Facebook, you can also find me there on OC Vintage Charm. Pinterest, I'm not a great Pinterester, I should be. And hopefully, like I said, I'm trying. There's so much to do, and learning this business on your own with no user manual is challenging. So hopefully I can start doing videos for everyone because I would love to do that. So
We would love for you to do it too.
Maybe a YouTube channel coming soon. So, and a blog. I want to do. I have a website. I just haven't got it live.
You totally should do a blog. You've got a lot to talk about, a lot to blog about, and I'm sure people would be on top of that right away. So, Tiffany, thank you again for coming on my channel. Well, it's going to be my channel eventually. Onto my Facebook group and giving us an interview. We really appreciate it. Debbie says, okay, you got a lot of comments here. When you mentioned meeting John Stamos, Irene was like, wow, and then the star eyes. A lot of people. Yeah. Debbie said, is it Forrest Gump? Is that what you're talking about? I don't think so.
No. Oh my gosh, what is this? It was the old guy with the trains. I can't even think. I'm gonna have to seriously Google it. I want to say it's Mr. Wilson, and it's not Mr. Wilson. I know it's not. It's he wore the red cardigan. What is that?
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, I know it's not Mr. Wilson. Yes, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So when he did that show and he was on there, I was at the studio and I just got a whole stack of bags and they're like, can you put a trolley on there? And I'm like, oh my God, is this for Tom Hanks? And they're like, yeah. Oh my goodness. Cool. Oh my God. And then I was like, in like the moment, I didn't even take a picture and I'm like, wait, come back with it.
That's my bag.
Oh, that's mine. But kind of cool.
Excited. Well, thanks for sharing your experiences. Everybody, don't forget to go look up OC Vintage Charm. It's all one word on Instagram. And like Tiffany said, she also has a Pinterest. And just keep following her and, like and follow. Check out her account. She's got awesome ideas. Thanks for being with us, guys. And we'll see you again next time.